Have you ever wondered why?
When?
How much?
What if?
Well, you're in luck, because you're listening to the Hypotheticast.
3 best buds.
On a mission.
To ask all the questions?
And get all the answers.
I was born with both guns blazing, and I do think I'm amazing. You got the dignity to feel a little about yourself. I don't care what your preacher says. I got my own vicious ways. Only got one commandment, and it goes, I'm killing it. I'm killing it.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Welcome to another episode. This is the Hypotheticast. I'm Mike.
I'm David.
I'm Emily.
And we're here to deliver some treats to your eardrums.
Yes, fresh out of the oven. Cookies. What kind of cookies did you make me?
Podcast cookies.
I don't think those sound very good, and they sound like something I've heard a lot of.
Stuff them in your ears.
Oh, no, I want to take them back.
You don't have
This is a
anything
good
better to
metaphor.
do. You don't have anything better to do. Just open up and take them.
Oh, God, no.
Open your ear
No,
up. Open
bad.
your ear up.
Okay.
Chew
this
it up.
is,
For
yeah,
all
I'm sorry.
reasons.
I regret
Good
it.
metaphor.
It's
All
getting
right,
aggressive.
So before we get into the episode proper, everyone has been on tenterhooks waiting to hear the answer to last week's dark story. And
Right,
this is the one called The White Dove. I'll read it
so
again to remind you.
Okay.
The fortune teller predicted a white dove will kill you. Shortly thereafter, the man was dead. I like how it doesn't introduce the man until it tells you what happened to him. It doesn't even tell you who it is.
I know.
Well, here's my prediction for you.
Yeah, tell me real quick. We're not doing a Dark Stories episode. What's your prediction, David?
My prediction is that the reason the man is not mentioned until the second half is because the white dove is a symbol of the people rising up and destroying society as it currently is, and they are killing the man, capital T, capital M, not a man. That's my prediction. Could be, probably be.
Emily, got any guesses?
Yeah. He had a heart attack because he saw a white dove right after that prediction. So he died.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Oh, that's kind of fun.
I think both yours are better than the actual answer.
Usually are.
A few days after visiting the fortune teller, the man was operated on by a surgeon named Dr. Dove.
Oh,
The
God.
operation failed and the man died.
That's terrible.
You know, that's probably the worst dark story, I think. That's
really
just
bad.
bullshit. It's like that man, this man was killed by a car. Mr. Carr, who runs the local florist shop.
Right. It is worthless.
Worthless.
Can we turn this bummer around by telling everybody what we're celebrating right now?
What are we
Oh
celebrating?
my gosh. It is our 100th episode.
100th episode.
I thought it said 10. 100 is a lot more than 10. Dang.
Move that decimal point over, David.
Oh, episode 1. Wow, my favorite Star Wars.
So, I mean, it really depends on how you count because we didn't count our microtheticasts. If we'd counted those, we actually hit 100 a long time ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
We have 60 of those.
But this is like our 100th proper episode. According to the notes that we write for all our shows, this is episode 100. And as promised, long ago in the mists of Hypotheticast history, we decreed that the 100th episode would be about sheds.
yeah, we
How
sure did.
excited are you?
And we were serious, sort of, at the time, but now we are.
I think
for
I
real.
demanded it because I
Mike was-
like
I
to
think
talk about sheds.
It happened because every time we had to decide what theme we were going to do, Mike suggested sheds.
It's on the list.
It's on the list.
It's on the list. You gotta mention it. Before I get into all the questions, does anyone have any like favorite shed memories they want to share?
I was born in a shed.
Were you really?
Yeah, it was big and it had a hospital inside it, but it was technically a shed.
Oh my
I
God.
looked at Wikipedia page for sheds today,
Yeah.
and the definition of a shed is pretty broad. It's basically any building that's outside of another building. So
Oh, okay.
could be anything. Who knows? I live in a shed maybe. Hard to say.
So I guess I remember being a kid and driving through Wisconsin a lot because I have a lot of family in Wisconsin, so we would go there. And I remember being so so like deeply confused as to why there are so many barns, which I feel like are relatives of sheds.
Barns are like big sheds, yeah.
That are like falling apart, like dilapidated, crumbling barns. And I felt like it was like this big mystery. And now that I'm an adult, I realize that it's not very interesting at all. That's my favorite sheds memory.
What did you realize? That people just don't take care of stuff?
Yeah, and just that like rural areas are getting less populous, so there's probably a lot of like farmland that was being inhabited and used and now is not.
Yeah, well, and then there was that decree where President George H.W. Bush canceled barns and everybody had to move.
Yeah,
to
he said
things.
if you touch
that
a
was
barn,
a big part of it.
if you lay one finger on a barn, you're out in my book.
Yeah,
and everybody was like, no.
He did have a big book of stuff.
So then
and
they
barns were not in
Yeah,
there.
they just all went into what is the phrase I'm looking for?
Disrepair.
Disrepair. Fell into disrepair. That's really like the most boring story I could have possibly told. But
one time our shed flooded in the back of our house because it rained a lot, and we took out a canoe and canoed around in our backyard.
Wait, hold on. You canoed in a shed?
Did we go into it? It was like amazing amount of water. I think we got close to the shed. I think I just remember like our weird metal shed in the back of our house like flooded almost to the top with water. And it was a lot. It was crazy.
That's cool.
I've never had a shed.
Yeah, I think that's a rich person thing or a farmer thing.
Feels like it.
We had a little metal shed, and then my dad tore it down and built a big wood one.
Mm.
And
wood's better than metal.
It's still there to this day, even though I don't live there. I never lived in the shed. I lived in the house by the shed.
You could have. You know, I do have a lot of memories of wanting to live in sheds.
Yeah, I bet you do.
You both know me.
From yesterday?
I love a small, little, tiny living space where everything's crammed in there. Like, for some reason, that's my jam. And a shed is like the hyper version of that. I could just tuck my little body in there, close the door, and nobody can touch me.
That's enough shed talk. The episode's over. Goodbye. Okay, here's some would you rathers about sheds. I put my heart and soul into these, so don't make fun of them. All right, first one.
Ooh, okay. No, I got to get into a space where I will not make fun of these questions. These are serious. Okay, I'm ready.
First, would you rather question. Would you rather have a shed that could talk or a shed that could walk? Think about this one real hard.
Talk.
Could talk. What would you want
Emily,
it to talk like? Whose voice should it have?
Fran Drescher, I think.
Oh, I wanted to sound.
That was not a positive response.
No, it's not a good choice.
It's really not.
Hey, you get out of here. Shaming my Fran.
It's very abrasive. I mean, I like her, but I don't want to hear her very much.
You think she only has that one mode? I bet there are soft moments on
I
the
think
nanny.
that's her voice. And I think that's okay if you're into that. Can I real quick share? I saw a clip from the second to last episode of The Nanny where the nanny character meets Fran Drescher at a hotel, and they start talking about the events of the show as if Fran Drescher watches The Nanny, but then she starts referencing the fact that she is also on The Nanny and that they're on the episode right now, and they do everything except turn and look at the camera. It's like a very bizarre fourth wall breaking
so
moment.
Meta. Oh my goodness.
So look that up. Fran Drescher meets The Nanny. Now back to our sheds episode.
That's really good. That's really good.
Emily, so what voice would you choose for your shed?
I think that I would like, if I'm going to have a non-human thing be able to talk to me, I want it. Maybe it's not wise, but I want it to at least have like the trappings of seeming like a wise being that could help me. So maybe like a Judy Dench's voice or a voice like hers.
Nice.
Warm, older British woman.
In what contexts do you think that a shed would that you would be talking to the shed? Like,
well,
you open the door and you're like, hey, I need a shovel. And then the shed either says, yeah, okay, and gives you a shovel, or they'd say like, oh yes, here's your shovel, ma'am.
I mean,
and it's very
if
pleasant.
I
But either way,
have
like how much time you spend it in this
I'm
shed?
just
where you're
saying that,
talking
like,
to it.
if I am in possession of something that is not a human being that can speak English, I'll probably be like, either wanting to talk to it or wanting to profit off of showing other people.
Yeah.
Gotta get that money.
Hey kids, come talk to my shed.
Like I'll be like, my shed can read your tarot cards or something, and then bring people there, and all it needs to sound like is like it is wise and all-knowing. It doesn't need to be wise and all-knowing.
Judy Garland is British?
I said Judi Dench.
Oh,
yeah,
I thought you said Judy Garland. Oh, that's different.
No, yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. I mean, Judy Garland's a fine choice, too.
She is, but she was born in Minnesota.
Yeah, I know you like both of those Judys, so I think that's why I
do.
got
I like a lot of Judys. What can I say? I'm a Judy lady.
I'm a Judy lady.
I think my shed would talk, and it would be voiced by John Huston, specifically in his Gandalf from the animated Lord of the Rings movies.
Oh, cool.
Sure.
Very wizened, also.
All right.
British, just a lot of wisdom coming from that shed, I think.
Even if it's not wise, you could just go in the shed on a hard day and be like, I'm having a hard day. And would you rather it be like, oh, you'll be fine? Or
that sounds pretty peppy. Yeah.
Or everything's going to be all right.
You must throw the ring into... No, that's a different voice. That's not John Huston.
No, do it.
Oh, hello, I'm the magic shed in your backyard. That's the Monster Mash guy. That's
pretty good, though.
Gandalf.
It could be his voice. Maybe it could be his voice. And he could tell you about all the creatures he had inside of him.
Maybe different voices for different holidays. Okay, we
Yeah,
gotta
or
move
whatever
on.
you want.
I got a lot of these sheds. Okay, would you rather have a shed that could fly or a shed that could die? I started rhyming these, and I guess it just happened, so you're going to have to go with it. So it could fly or die.
The appeal of inducing mortality to something that was not immortal or mortal before is kind of fun.
You think it's fun?
Well, it's like, hey, guess what, shed? You're conscious, but you could definitely die now, bud. Watch out. That's like horrible in some ways. Although I guess maybe you could also make the argument that all sheds can die, because like I could bulldoze one right now.
Right.
Big
Remember
boop,
all those
shed gone.
dying sheds that I drove past as a child in Wisconsin?
Yeah,
They're dying. Maybe that's just all sheds. So either way, based on Charlie and the gray glass elevator, I'm going to go with shed that could fly, because that sounds real fun, and I bring my friends all around the universe in it.
I'm going to go with shed that can die.
Yes.
Cool.
Why?
Because I feel like David is right. All sheds die.
Not all sheds truly live.
I don't know. Actually, I don't really have a good argument for why I want it to die, but I have a good argument for why I don't want it to fly. Because if you can think of all of the buildings in the world, what's one that you wouldn't trust to safely fly you someplace?
You think it would fall apart in the air?
Shed. Yeah.
No, it could be a good shed. I think sheds... Here's something I'm putting on the table. Wathwap. Sheds get a bad name for being run down. When I walk by Home Depot, I see that new fancy shed outside for like $200. That is airtight. You could sail in
Yeah,
that
but have you
sucker.
ever seen one of those sheds in real life, like in the world?
Yeah, in like the suburbs where people don't need them or use them. That's the only place that nice things like that go. But you could fly in one. That's all I'm saying, is a shed does not have to be run down to be a shed.
I think
I think that's a misconception.
If you could pick the shed, like if you talk about like the little metal shed that I grew up with, before my dad built a big old wood shed, the metal shed probably would have fallen apart real quick.
Yeah.
A gust of wind would
shed,
hit it,
though.
and it would just turn into shed dust.
I think the cool thing about flying in an airplane is that you can't really tell you're flying. I don't really have any desire to fly in something in which I'm like, oh, I am flying. I can feel the wind. I don't like that. That scares me.
I'm interested in that. That is one cool thing about flying in an airplane. I don't know if it's the cool thing. I feel like there are...
I think that sums it up. The cool thing about an airplane is that you fly in it and you can't tell you're flying. That's like...
That's true.
It protects you from all of the clues that you're flying.
You're right, yeah. I mean, I'm a window seat boy, so I disagree, but I understand exactly what you mean, and I respect your opinion.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I want one that can fly, but it doesn't prevent you from riding on airplanes if you have a shed that can fly.
No, I know.
No, they know. They're like, you get out of here. You're shed boy.
I don't know. I just don't think it sounds very fun, but you guys do whatever you want, okay?
Okay. I got one last rhyming one. This one rhymes. Okay. Would you rather have a shed that could eat rocks or beatbox?
Ooh. Eat rocks.
Beatbox.
Yeah.
I can make my own beatbox. Like anyone can beatbox, and a lot of people who can beatbox shouldn't beatbox.
Wait, Emily, do you know what beatboxing is?
Yes, I know what beatboxing is.
The expression you had on your face looked like you were confused about it.
The thing I'm confused about is why you would ever want anything that could eat rocks.
David's going to explain.
Point of order. I would love that. Think about the times. Maybe this is not something that's very relevant to either of your lives, and that's okay. It hasn't been to mine recently, but there were times when I did gardening projects and I had a bunch of rock that I was like, I don't know what to do with this. And we put it on Craigslist and had to give it away. But what if I could just find a rock, chuck it in the shed, gone forever? That sounds great. And it's a fun magic trick at parties. If I could throw a rock into Fran Drescher's mouth and she just... That's great. Wow.
I guess I am having a hard time fully grasping the excitement of that.
I mean, it's not very exciting, but it has a utility, and that's something. And it would feel good to feed a shed, to take care of.
Okay, you got me there. I do kind of like the idea of like throwing a rock in a shed and it being like,
Tasty. Good.
more rocks, please.
What if, okay, would you rather have it say, my favorite, or more rocks, please?
More rocks, please, obviously.
That is pretty
It's
good.
adorable.
Then it licks its shed tongue on its shed lips.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I guess to be honest, I don't really know what I would do with a beatboxing shed either. Maybe make some TikToks.
Tear it down.
Would you be in them or you just film the shed?
Yeah, the shed would do the beatboxing and I would do the rapping over it.
I think you're supposed to dance. TikTok is for dances.
Oh,
mostly,
okay.
right?
I don't really know what it's for.
It's for rapping mostly, I think.
Children, I think. Just for children.
I think it's for rapping.
Okay, this one is a pretty deep one, so get your thinking caps on.
Ooh.
Would you rather have a shed that could travel through time or a shed that could travel through space?
Time.
Now, let me say this. Let me explain. The shed is in the backyard of the place you currently live, and so when you travel through time, you can't go like anywhere in the world. Like you can't go to the pyramids.
I see.
Like if you go back in time to ancient Egypt times, you have to get there a different way if you want to go see those pyramids getting built.
Okay.
You can't just fly in your shed.
My
'cause
follow-up
this shed
question about
does
that.
not fly.
Okay, that's what I was going to... But the shed that can move through space, does that mean... Is that space with a capital S, like outer space? Is it space like it can float around like fly, or is it a car? Is it just a car?
It teleports. So you just
teleports.
go in
Oh,
it and
it
imagine where
teleports.
you imagine where you want to go, and then it takes you there instantly.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
then that one
geez.
for sure.
Yeah, that
I just
one.
thought you meant it was like a car.
Space.
Because it can only be in one place.
Yeah.
You can
Go
go
through
backyard.
time.
No, I
Yeah,
know.
it could
Like,
be in the past.
that's still
great.
cool, but I literally thought it traveling through space was like it had wheels and you could
Yep, exactly.
drive
Because
it.
Wheels.
A lot of things can move through space. Sheds can
Teleporting?
move through space.
No, it can teleport.
I would rather teleport than time travel. Teleporting would
Absolutely.
be dope.
Then where would you teleport first?
Groceries.
You just go get groceries.
I go get groceries.
Into the parking lot of the Aldi's.
Gotta get some bread.
Load
some
up the
cheese.
shed.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Come on back.
I'd check off some exotic locales. I want to.
Like where?
I would like to vacation on a Greek island or Italy, somewhere on the coast.
I love the idea of somebody being on one of those islands and being like, oh, Bradley, this is such a nice honeymoon. Isn't it so nice that we're all alone here on this Greek island? And then right behind them drops a shed and Emily walks out. Hey, it's my Greek island. Like, what an amazing image
That was
is.
a really
It's a
good
shed.
impression of me.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey guys.
I'll make sure that if I'm teleporting to a romantic locale like that, that I enter in a way that will not disrupt honeymooners. I'll just like sneak out and be like, ooh, romance.
That's
I
not
feel like that's
disruptive
worse.
at all.
That's so much
You
worse.
put a
Open
sheet
the
on
door
your head and be a
sing.
ghost.
I'm the ghost of romance. Keep kissing. Nothing's wrong.
I want a time traveling shed. I don't care what you guys
Yeah.
think.
No, that's fine.
Good. You got to be yourself. I don't know. What would you do with that boring ass shed?
I'd go to different times.
You go to different times here in Minneapolis.
Yeah. What would you hope for, do you think?
Well, I think it would create an interesting challenge because, like, for one thing, I find it very fascinating to think about, like, certain spaces, like,
Totally.
when you see pictures of cities, like, in the olden days, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, like, that's crazy.
Right. This was probably not always our house's backyard.
No, probably not. So I think that'd be really cool to see. I love that idea, and I could find out in my shed what my backyard's been all about through the years.
Yeah, exactly. And what other buildings were there? Even like if you went back like a year and then another year and then another year, you could see how this house has changed and all the people that have lived in here. That'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, I could just
I do not disagree. That'd be pretty fun, but I don't think it counterbalances the absolute usefulness of being able to teleport wherever you want in a shed.
I could go back. I could use it like to warn people about the coronavirus. I could just go back in time and be like,
I'm sure they would listen very much. They would be like, this man, this man from the shed told us.
Honestly,
Shedman said,
here's another one. Would you rather have a shed that spews blood, The Shining out of the elevator style, or a shed that randomly screams as if it's being murdered occasionally?
Wait, what? Huh? What? There were a lot of words in that second one.
Oh, okay. Too many adverbs. Okay. What I actually wrote
screams when it's being murdered?
No.
The shed is being murdered?
The shed
Like
screams as if it's being murdered, like randomly, is what I meant to say. Like
it's not constant. Yeah.
Okay.
But like at random intervals, it sometimes just screams. But the other shed spews blood out of its doors like the elevator in The Shining.
I'm going to go with bloodshed. Oh, I didn't even know I was doing that.
Nice.
I will take the blood spewing shed because screams sound very irritating.
Irritating is a good word for scream.
It is like, oh God, it's like just such a shrill, grating sound when you you would get used to it. So you would know that it doesn't actually have any meaning, but it would still be so obnoxious, especially if you didn't know when it was going to happen. The blood, I don't know. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, I don't need a shed. If someone just gifted, if I woke up tomorrow morning and there was a beautiful shed in my backyard, I'd be like, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with that. I don't need that. So
that's the thing about sheds.
If it's
no one really needs them. They're just little garages.
They are. So like if I had one and it spewed a bunch of blood out, I probably would use it even less, and then I would just move on with my life and I'd be fine. I'd just have a shed that spewed blood, and maybe if I ever needed to spook some teens, I could use it for that purpose.
This has a lot of use. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, Emily. Backyard haunted house. Shining shed, that's a huge hit. The whole neighborhood talks about that. Mm-hmm. You lead a whole maze of people to your shed that they think is just a little shed. It's going to have a little guy in it, a scary baby, maybe an old man that says something. No. It has blood that comes out of it.
So much blood.
That's amazing. Everybody would be so impressed and scared and covered in blood. Is it actual blood, and how often does it do it, and does it do it on command? Those are my 3 follow-up questions.
It's random like the screams.
Oh, fuck.
But it is real blood.
It's real blood. It's real shed blood.
Is it my blood?
And it's a lot. Like it goes out into the streets, like in the gutter. It goes into the gutters. So
the problem
people
is though, I guess during daylight that would be effective, but at night people would be like, oh, that's just like warm water or something.
Blood has a different texture than warm water.
Does it?
I don't know. I've never been swimming in blood.
I can never tell when my sink is bleeding and when my sink is just biffing out water.
Well, you've had blood on you, right?
Not large quantities.
Oh, well, you're not living then.
And my problem is I've never really felt what it's like to have a lot of water on me, but I totally understand bathing in blood.
David bathes in blood every night.
Got to stay young.
I think the screams, you're right. I think the screams also, even though if the shed blood got into the street and people wondered about it, I feel like that's more somehow explainable than screams. Yeah. I feel like the neighbors, even if you told your neighbors it was a screaming shed, they'd be like, no, something bad is happening
gonna
at
call
your 911.
House. Yeah, it's a screaming shed is 100% what a kidnapper says when they've kidnapped someone and put them in their shed. No. It's a screaming shed. Also, it says, I'm trapped in this shed for fun. It says it for fun.
Even if I believed them, I would still be like, make it stop, please.
Right. Could you muffle it in some way or satisfy its needs? Give it rocks. Here's my question.
Yeah.
Mike, I'm gonna put you in a space right now.
Oh, okay.
What would you say to your neighbor when they were like, hey, why does your house bleed all the time onto the street? What do you say? I'm your neighbor. What do you say to me when I say, hey, what's with all the blood in the street every now and then? Why?
I can't say that it's the result of a would you rather question. That's against the rules of the would you rather witch.
Yep. You'll get smote.
I think I'd just be like, I'm just working on a new invention. It's one of my inventions.
All right, I'm dialing 911 right now.
The thing is, they could come and investigate me. Like, I don't know what kind of DNA that blood's going to have, but I guess...
That's so fascinating, yeah. Get it tested.
I'm assuming it's just like mysterious shed blood.
Shed positive.
Okay, got another one here. Would you rather have to hide an ET or a Bigfoot in your shed?
Like an ET from the movie ET?
Well, ET means extraterrestrial, so yeah, we'll say it's like ET. And yeah, that's probably the best reference point for the alien you have to hide because they actually do that in ET. Or a Bigfoot, like a Harry and the Henderson style Bigfoot.
ET.
Yeah?
You want ET?
Easier to hide and less likely to murder me.
Yeah, ET doesn't want to murder. He wants plants and TV.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Harry wanted to murder anyone. Harry wanted to be their friend too.
No, I know, but he's so big and harder to take care of.
He is big. ET's pocket size. Well, he's my size, I think. You know what? Nope, he's not that either. ET is absolutely not my size. he's like kid size,
yeah,
right?
Remember when he was dressed as that ghost for Halloween?
Oh yeah,
wow,
small. That was so good. Costume contest. Ugh, ET. That's the other thing. I don't think Harry from Harry and the Hendersons is very creative with his get-ups. I also have not seen this movie, so maybe he was, and I'm pissing off a lot of people right now.
I don't think he wore stuff.
He can get it. When he had that little towel around his head and he was in that basket, I would go biking around with him all the time. What a little cutie.
He can get it?
He can get it.
Okay.
I'm giving ET permission to get it.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't like the look of ET. If it's an alien that looks
I don't
like
either.
ET, I would rather have
so
a big old
sad.
cuddly Bigfoot back there.
I guess I don't really remember Harry and the Hendersons very much, but I just feel like Bigfoot is large.
You're right.
And
Large foot.
Eats a
It's
lot.
right there in the name.
Eats a lot. I would need to provide a lot for Harry, and I don't
just needs
have the damn time.
What does Bigfoot eats?
I don't know.
I'm
Meat,
saying like a lot of
flowers?
lettuces, a lot of cabbages, maybe.
Bigfoot?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Bigfoot's vegetarian?
Yeah, did you know that?
No, he's not. You're lying right now.
What does
How can I be lying about
eat?
a fictional animal?
It looks like there's an article from 2012 from The Verge which says, why is Bigfoot eating bagels? So I think is that he likes carbs.
Oh, okay.
I think it's carbs, Mike. You're
All
wrong.
right. Well, I'll just get some day-olds from the bagel store and give them
Yeah,
those.
easy.
So I'm going to go with Bigfoot. I like the challenge, too. I
You
think
just
that's
love
more fun.
Bigfoot. You've been in love with
you also
Bigfoot for
like him.
years.
Look, I'm not going to deny that fact. And yeah, that's true. Like,
Can Bigfoot get it or not?
yes, Bigfoot can get it.
Yeah, he can.
Bigfoot is allowed to get it.
He's allowed to have it. Go get it, Bigfoot.
Well, thanks for making it to 100 with us. Hopefully we'll have 100 more. And our 200th episode will be about
Barnes.
Great. Yep. So look forward to that in however many days that takes.
Oh, well, I just wanted to say, yeah, it's been real. It's been fun. Thanks for joining us, friends.
Peace
has
out.
been
Emily's
real.
leaving the podcast.
It's been real.
Thanks for being
It's
the
been
real
real is
one.
a very final thing.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to say a nice thing to the people listening.
Well, let's do it again. Here. Blah, 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 blah. Now say a nice thing.
No, now the moment is over.
That was the nice
That
thing. She
wasn't-
said
say
the
a
nice thing.
I
That was mean and it hurt me. What was a nice thing?
She
actually
said
hurt
nice-
me.
She
I
said it's
said,
been
"Oh,
real.
I just said it's been real. Thanks for sticking with us. To the
that's
listeners.
nice, yeah.
It wasn't like
Thank
super
you.
nice. I just like thought it was time to say something like that.
This time. I agree. It has been real and it has been nice. And thank you also for sticking with us.
Yeah.
Listeners, you can get it too. You can all get it.
I almost did a spit take.
We also wanted to say you can actually do reviews on Podcast Addict, the app now. That's what I use for my podcast. So if you want to leave us a review, we'll do it. And if we get 100 reviews, I'm going to do a tattoo of Fern Gully VHS cover on my face like I promised long ago.
Long ago,
It's going to teach them a lesson. It's going to be great. I can't wait.
I'm excited.
There are so many places you can review us, though. Like, will we count Facebook reviews?
Yeah, we'll count them all.
Okay, you could Facebook review us. Like, any review, any official review, we will count, and then Mike will be sorry he ever was born.
Yeah, punish that boy.
It's not
Mike,
a
it's been
punishment.
real.
I didn't. That took a really sharp turn. I didn't mean that.
Really?
No, it's good.
Okay, we have
I
one
love how
last
sharp
segment.
It was.
This segment is called No Questions Asked. I have one final Would You Rather, and then you don't get to ask questions about it. Here it goes. All right. Would you rather shed or shack?
Shack.
Shaq.
Shack.
And that's how I beat Shed.
Goodbye, everyone.
I'm marching, cause I'm gonna
Theme music by Jaden James and the Hunger. Logo by Christian Hagen. Edited by David Gucci. If you want more of our hypothetical content, join our Facebook group or like our posts on Twitter or Instagram or give us some stars and a review on iTunes or wherever the heck you get your podcasts. I think we really talked down Sheds quite a bit in this episode.
We just shat all over Sheds.
There's no song called Love Shed, so